What's up, guys? That Dumbo here. Last time we did a video on this feature Behemoth being released and what are the things that we are getting out of it. But this time, specifically, we are going to focus on the skills of Behemoth. Whilst important is now you all have your own gameplay. So you have different packs, and behemoths are assigned to these different packs. And you have to make sure the skills that you are going to have for these behemoths, which are assigned to specific packs, will actually complement each other. If they are not going to help the gameplay that you are going to have with that specific pack, it's useless. So that is why we look at the skills that are available to your on the table for you, and how useful or unuseful they will be when you look at your gameplay. Okay, so now I have upgraded my Arma to level 4. Because of this, the skill slot of second skill slot was unlocked. So where we can assign another skill there. Right. So the first one I already have life tide. I got this from a pack where now if you look at the information there, upgrade skill, it shows after the pack releases the round skill, the behemoth will restore your slightly wounded packs, right? So you can upgrade it, and also you can skill star up it using the shards that you are going to get, the same shard. Now the second slot, similarly, you can assign another skill there. Now these are the skills that I already have. 9 skills are there. So we can select one of it. So the first one is Ring of Thorns. This Ring of Thorns actually came from the event where now if you look at the steady strategy, this is where after you level up your behemoth to 3-star, you will get the 20 shards of Ring of Thorns. Now the problem here is, now if you look at these skills that you are getting, they are not giving you information what this skill is about until you actually assign the skill. So that's a big problem. So for this one, Ring of Thorns, now if you go back to Behemoth, you can see by selecting this one, every 25 rounds deals damage to the target once. So every 25 rounds you are getting 1 damage of this. That is, damage factor is 384. Right. So let's look at what this damage factor is. This is not damage, this is damage factor. Now all your heroes, now for an example, if I look at my Nicholas here now, and also I go back to the skills, you can see the damage factor. So it's the default is 460. This damage factor means it's not the damage. The damage factor is a multiplier with the number of units that you are going to have and the types of those units. So considering those two factors and the damage factor, you will get the final damage, right? So let's say a army with a pack with 10,000 units with the damage factor 460 will do a certain damage, let's say 1000 damage. Whereas if there's another army with 20,000 units will do probably close upon twice of that, because number of units will also come into play. So similarly, now Nicholas, you see damage factor at level 1 is 460, whereas this skill that we were looking at, this skill has the Ring of Thorns has 384 damage. Right, we'll come back and see this how useful or unuseful this is, but we'll just go through all the skills first, right? So the second one, it's Fatal Chain. So Fatal Chain, another legendary skill. So that is after pack releases Rage skill, the Behemoth will deal skill damage to the target again. So the factor is 180. So I think here the factor and the damage factor are identical. They just have missed the damage word here because all other places they have the factor. So here now, after the pack releases the rage skill, meaning now we all know every round hero will generate 100 rage points. So starting with zero, first round you have zero rage points, second round you will have 100, third round 200, likewise. So after 11 rounds you will have 1000 rage points. So 1000 rage points is the mark where that skill, the first skill, the rage skill will be triggered. So meaning this fatal chain, the first skill, this one will be triggered only after 11 rounds. So again, keep in mind that Ring of Thorns, every 25 rounds, you get the this Ring of Thorns skill damage triggered, right? So again, now going back, moving forward, the third one, Ring of Restoration, after pack releases round skill, the Behemoth will restore your slightly wounded packs. Factor 30. Now look at this, what this is telling, right? So after the pack releases round skill, meaning let's suppose that you have a hero like Fenrir at your arsenal. So Fenrir, she's doing her round skills every three rounds. So third round, sixth round, ninth round, 12th round, likewise, right? So by 12th round, she has done four round skills. And same time, let's say if you look at Conan or Venus, so Venus like every seventh round. So let's say if there's a pack containing Fenrir and Venus, so by 12th round you will have Venus's skill round skill triggered at 7th round, Fenrir at 3, 6, 9 and 12. So altogether 5 times this has triggered. So it's like 36 into 5, which is 180 healed, right? Because it has triggered 5 times already. So basically, what I'm saying is now it all boils down to what the heroes that you have in the pack. If you have uh, assistant heroes where their round skill is triggered at very short period of time, like Fenrir, so it's very important or very useful for you to have skills that are triggered at rounds, this released at round skill, rather than going to the the skill the triggered at rage skill. So it's very important to know. So therefore, that's why I said it's very important to choose your skills based on the heroes that you have in the pack, rather than the how important or how mighty that skill may look like, right? So okay, moving forward, the fourth one. So this is peerless. Peerless will give 2.4 attribute boost, meaning attributes in the sense attack, defense, and health. So 2.4 by default, peerless. So similar, you have the heroism here, which gives 1.8 attribute boost. Right. So, but at early game, this boosts 2.5, 2.4, even whatever it is, will look a big substantial figure. But when you move into mid game or end game, they become really meaningless because you'll have 400%, 500%, 600% attributes, whereas this 2.4 is like negligible. It brings no value to the table. So I would personally suggest you avoid these things like attribute boosts or even fitness, which gives 7.2%, a health boost, iron wall 7.2 defense boost, and carefree 7.2 attack boost. But that is my personal preference. That is up to you to decide based on your gameplay whether you are going to choose them or not. So next we have the victory rush. Again, this one is the inferior version of fatal chain, because fatal chain same rate skill 180. Here rate skill 144, but keep in mind that upgrading this fatal chain will be much difficult than the upgrading victory rush. So if you are in the early stage, someone having victory rush would be having more skill damage compared to the person having fatal chain, but in the long run the person having fatal chain will overtake that person. So that's all about that. Right, so these are the skills that you have. So we'll move back to the Ring of Thorns and we'll discuss about this a little bit further. So basically, it says every 25 rounds, it deals damage to the target once. So now when you're fighting either, especially PvE, PvP, so every 11th round, your opponent will do a massive skill damage at you, right? And even if you are fighting in PvE, especially, every round their normal damage is really high. So the more that you advance, more rounds that it takes, right? Progress, your number of units you have in your pack will go down, right? So your total damage will come from the damage factor multiplied by with the whatever factor, another factor, which comprises of the number of units you have in the pack and the number of types of the different types, let's say tier 1 units, tier 2, likewise different types of units that you have that in that pack. But the problem is, now if you wait until 25 rounds, your pack is might be already dead, or even half of the units are gone. So the damage, actually what you are doing at 25th round with this damage factor will be really substantially lower than whatever the damage you may be doing at 11th round and 22nd round, because you have more units at that point, right? So I personally find this Ring of Thorns, either even though it is legendary skill, pretty much useless if you are a DPS, damage dealer, because damage dealer, you'll be, it's like a glass cannon, you'll have more damage when the fight progresses, and by the 25th round you'll have very less amount of units, right? So either maybe you are dead. So if you are a tank, that's a different story, because if you are a tank, you are taking very low damage, but with this one you should be able to do a substantially huge damage at 25th round, because still you have all your units left with you, almost all the units. So if you are a tank, this is a very good skill, but if you are a DPS, this Ring of Thorns is pretty much useless. Right, so and another thing is, now when you now I have my armor at level 52 and star level is 4, and by now I cannot upgrade this any further. It says increasing your Behemoth star rating to expand its level cap. So actually when I was having star level here, star rating 3, it gave me the same message. So I'm starting to think that this may be actually related to the level that they are referring to, not the basically I have level 52. Probably if I upgrade that level to, let's say, 60 or something, I might be able to upgrade this further. But that's for another time. So basically that's about it, guys. So you can, let's say I select my personal preference is Wind of Restoration. I learn this one. So like I said, it's 36 plus 6. I can up if I upgrade it by 1, I'll get plus 6, 42, 48, 54, 60. Yeah. And again at level 7 I stopped. So because of these two skills, this one at 120 and this one at 72, I am able to recover 192 every time the pack releases round skill. I think I really uh, find it very useful in the fights, especially in PvE, because you need to have recover your uh, units, especially if you are doing, let's say, elephant rallies or even your campaign fights. So very important. But campaign fights, I think they are not taking uh, the behemoth into consideration yet. So basically, that's about it, guys. I hope that this information might be useful for you all, because after using this one, you can't look at what are the skills that you have and what are the benefits of this.